already. We're 45 away. And we're here at the bottom of the hour. We could get to 250 by the top of the hour. Let's get to a really great guy who's absolutely changing the way that Birds 365 is rolling. Man, they're killing it with that show too. Hey, I'll tell you one thing that JAKIB is. I see more subscriptions and more people checking us out than any other show in Philly. I mean, we're just and it's because of you guys. You know, I give you shit, you give me shit, but hey, one thing is for sure. This ain't for the faint of heart. Let's bring in our friend Zander Krause. 365. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Sills? I accidentally dropped myself on the show a couple seconds ago, and then I popped off. So appreciate everybody. How you doing, brother?
Well, wait a minute. The guy owns the fucking thing. I think you can come on anytime you want. Hey, wherever Zander wants to parachute in, what are we gonna do here, man? I mean,
yeah,
hey,
it was unintentional though.
This is his sandbox, man. How you doing, man? All good, dude. I mean, you know, hey Zander, you know, just from 30,000 feet, because I had a friend of mine that was there. You know who I told you was there at the sidelines, and he was sending me some clips. I got it. This is from him, so I can show you this. So check this out here. He goes like this. You'll like this, Zander. So I was getting these throughout the entire practice, and my friend was sending clips, and he goes, "You can only post this one, but don't be posting all of them here." So he was sending me clips from the practice. This is from the Patriot side. That's Quinyon getting killed.
Oh, Quinyon didn't get killed, Sills. What are you
That's
talking
him getting killed. That's him getting killed by.
He's a couple steps off there for sure. But I mean, come on, he's not getting killed, Sills.
He got killed.
Sills, if I had your practice tape up, there would have been plenty of plays that you got bamboozled.
He got killed there. But anyway. Hey, Zander, I've got to tell you, man, right out of the gate here, young guys are playing pretty good.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are. I mean, I think all the young guys, with the exception of the one, Anais Smith, who can't seem to catch a break anywhere, everybody seems to be stepping up. I'm most intrigued at this point by Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Not that I'm not intrigued by Quinyon, but I almost, not that I know he's going to be good, but I don't have as many questions on him. I'm confident in his abilities as a player. So I'm most intrigued by Jeremiah Trotter Jr. because you have a position where what's Nakobe Dean? What's Devin White? What are any of the guys in the room? What's Zach Bond? And, you know, if Jeremiah Trotter can come in here and make an impact on the team, you know, boy, that's going to be a big help to this roster. And as you pointed out, you know, now you're not as worried about the linebacker position. This is a 5th-round draft pick who's under contract for the next 4 years. If he's starting in year 1, that would be tremendous. Now, I don't know how good he'll be if he's starting, but I do like – I'm very intrigued by him. And overall, you know, as you mentioned, all the young guys seem to be impressing. Trevor Keegan, we talked about him a little bit yesterday. I think he's going to be a great player if he gets his opportunity on the offensive line here in Philly. So a lot of intrigue right now in Philly and a lot of good things brewing, but still a lot of questions on that defense we got to answer.
I'll tell you what, man, if Trotter turns out to be a guy you can plug in there and start and play, the loss of Nakobe Dean not panning out and being a good ball player washes. It's a wash.
Yeah, and look, I'm with you on Nakobe, and I'm about ready to be done. But you know, look, let's give him. If we're going into year 3 and we expect Nakobe, I'm going to give him the year. I'm not going to write him off in training camp. All right, so he got first team reps today. He had a good play in pass coverage. I'm not saying I believe
honestly,
he's going to be an impact guy.
Pass coverage,
I'm just not ready to say he was a categoric bust and he never made an impact on the team. Let's see what he does this year. If he's a player this year, you know, that's a good thing. If he's not, okay, you're right. It's time to move on. But I'm not going to write him off at training camp. All right. I didn't keep him for year 3 to write him off in August. You know?
How about this? Well, wait. When you say that, this isn't just camp. I watch him in games. He sucks.
Well, he was all right in the Ravens game.
I'm talking about last year in 2023 when he was on the field.
Yeah, but my point is we've already put that to the side and said we're going to this is going to be his year.
Okay.
So I'm like I said, I'm not going to judge year 3 on what I saw in July and August. I'm going to wait for the games for Nakobe Dean, but sounds like he's ramping up. He was coming off the injury, remember, which is a tough injury that foot injury that he had. It's a tough injury. Let's see what he can do. We'll see what he can do out there.
Wow, man. Mr. Optimistic. I love it.
I'm not being
man.
optimistic. I've been
I'll tell
hard
you
on the
what.
Kobe Dean. I'm just saying, if they're going to give him an opportunity, I want to see it in games. I'm not going to write him off in camp. Sells.
Okay. How about this? Practice, camp. He struggled today in pass coverage. He made a play in the end zone. He did, but he still got worked over again. Anyway, let's move off of that, dude. I'm tired of him. I am like Kenny Flickett today. Kenny Flickett had a nice day today, man. Kenny Flickett. Then again, the Patriots, dude, honest to God, the Patriots are terrible.
Kenny Flickett stinks, dude. Kenny Flickett's not an upgrade over Gardner Minshew. Now, he's an upgrade over Mariota, but Big Sills would have been an upgrade over Marcus Mariota. So I am not high on Kenny Pickett. In fact, I would almost vouch for Tanner McKee to have a shot at the position to win QB2. If you're going to go to a different style of a quarterback, if Jalen goes down, shit, man, why not go with the guy with the big arm? You know, Kenny Pickett's
all those weapons.
Big Sills. Kenny Pickett's wearing gloves on his hand, man. I don't know. There's just something about that drives me crazy.
In August. Hey, he's wearing gloves in August? Come on, kid. Where we going here with that? Do you call the Jets and say, hey, you want your third round pick back? And see what's up?
Not for a third round pick. Why would I do that?
Because that's what that's oh no, yeah, no, that's what
why would you do that? And then you're gonna have to pay Hassan Reddick, and then you got nothing to float him around and not keep him in camp. I'll give you back a seventh.
Fuck that, man. No.
I'll give you back.
You need. My fear is pressure this year. My fear is pressure. I don't.
I'll give you a conditional sixth.
What?
I'll give you a conditional sixth.
No, man, he's going to want his third back.
All right, good.
This is going to be like draft day, the movie.
You can go and find a team that wants to pay you $26 million, because there's not a team in the league right now that's coughed up a damn thing for you at $26 million. You want to take $20 million and play here in Philly? I'll do it. But for more than that,
how about if he agrees to $21 million?
$21 million is a close one. Remember, now he's got $1 million fine, and he's not getting rid of that fine. People think the CBA. He's going to pay that fine.
He has to pay that.
He has to pay that fine. So we're going to see. But $21 million, I'll take him. I'll take him at 21. I just worry that there was more things than football involved in that we haven't heard about. Like, it seemed like the Eagles didn't like that guy that much. I don't know why, for whatever reason.
And for them to let a guy with 30 sacks almost go, like that,
I don't know if it was
not very Howie, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if it was him and Howie. I don't know who it was, but I just feel like there was something wrong in the organization with him. I kind of think it was Nick Sirianni. I think Hassan didn't like Nick Sirianni and the way he ran his football team, and he took that personally. And I don't know. I think it's something. I'll say that. I don't know what, but I think it's something.
All right, I gotta go here. Jalen Hurts is playing very well, and he had a really good day today. They, just a handful of passes behind the rest of them. I mean, we're talking 8 out of 10 were right on numbers. I mean, the kid Gonzalez was back there too, is a good ball player. So we're talking about the 7th best defense a year ago in the NFL. But what's your take so far in Jalen's camp? Because it just seems him and Kellen are really amping it up. I mean, there's a difference about him. It seems.
Yeah.
Again, it's August 13th, but we were critical with the OTAs and minicamp. And now, if you're going to be honest here, you got to be also honest with the fact that it looks to be rolling in the right direction here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I think your Big Sills might be eating some crow this year on Jalen Hurts. Well, Sills, here's what I'll say. Because you talk about the 3,800 yards, and I get it. I don't care about the stats like you care about the stats, but I get what you're saying. He threw 3,800 yards and didn't take a check down to save his life. Now, all of a sudden, I'm hearing out of practice that Kellen Moore has Jalen Hurts checking down more than he's ever checked down. So if you add that into his offense and he kind of lets the playmakers – remember, the 4,000 yards isn't just Jalen Hurts. The 4,000 yards is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley and all these dudes around him. And if he's able to take some of that weight off his shoulders and use those playmakers more, I think 4,000 yards is a foregone conclusion. He might get closer to 4,500 this year. So, which will mean get the salt and get the pepper. Big Sills is going to be eating his crow.
No,
I'll cook it up for you.
When you have
I'll
checkdowns,
broil it or whatever you want me to do.
Here's the problem with checkdowns.
Fry it, and Big Sills will be eating that crow all year long, baby.
Folks, I'm going to give you a little history lesson on checkdowns here. And Naughty, shut up. Let me say this to you here, okay? When you have checkdowns, that means you have to rely that you have a very good defense and that you may not get a first down, and there may be a couple 3-and-outs with checkdowns. And when you have that, that means you put your defense back on the field. Why was Brady able to go checkdowns in New England for 20 years? Well, he had one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL the entire time he was there. And if you have a 31st ranked defense where you can't cover people and you can't get pressure, those checkdowns will result in 3-and-outs.
Well, look, I'll go even further. If you're going to have a 31st ranked defense, you might as well forget about the season. You might as well forget about competing for a Super Bowl.
I don't think they'll be there.
I don't think they will either. But I'm saying, you're saying that negates the check down. I'll go further and say that negates the whole damn season. That's going to negate the whole damn season. So you better not have a 31st ranked defense right now. But look, I think they're going to be a little bit better. But Sills, I am concerned about the linebackers because a lot of Fangio's scheme, you need linebackers. Even he said that, and I just don't know if we have the guys in the room right now that are going to provide to him what he needs to have a good defense. But look, I feel good about that defensive front. They got a lot of pressure today. Now it's New England, I get it, but it's still an NFL football team. These are still starting guys, and
I'm good.
They apparently they work them. And again, we talk about the edge rushers. We talk about Bryce Huff. I get it. I'm concerned on them too. I think those two guys in the middle are going to make their lives so much easier. It's like Bryce Huff last year. He had 10 sacks in New York. Why? Because Quinnen Williams and the dudes in the middle were eating up all the blockers. Every time Bryce Huff got out there, he had a free lane. I think it's going to be the same thing here. I think those guys in the middle are going to make that defensive line unbearable because both of them require a double team. Even if you don't like Jordan Davis, his size and his power requires a double team when you're talking about interior defensive linemen. Jalen Carter, same thing. That's tough to deal with as an offensive line, and that's where I think the Eagles are going to have a big advantage on defense.
I want to see it Thursday night, kind of more in a game scenario too, where you're on the field, because if I remember correctly, 2 years ago when they had the same setup, they did a really nice job against the Patriots. They got into that game, and I don't think Philly looked good in that game. Then again, that's Bill Belichick coaching that team versus Jared Mayo.
Gerard Mayo is no Bill Belichick.
Yeah, mayonnaise versus Bill Belichick. That's a whole different group there.
No doubt.
If we lose the NFC Championship, does Kellen go or Nick? Hey, man,
Neither.
Come on now.
Neither.
Man.
I don't think either go. If you make unless Kellen gets hired somewhere, I don't think either are fired.
Well, no, you can't make a lateral move unless it's a head coaching move. Like, you can't go get another OC.
Unless somebody hires him as a head coach, he's not going. But that's a real fear too. Remember, the Eagles hired or interviewed this guy to be the head coach when Nick Sirianni got hired. And Vic Fangio is a former head coach. That's the interesting dynamic with the coaches this year. But Martin, to answer your question, if you make the NFC champ, I would say that Kellen would go, and it wouldn't be for a firing. It would be if he got hired.
Yeah,
and that would be the only option, because I don't think if you make the NFC title game this year, even if you lose it, nobody's getting fired. You're not going to fire a coach that goes back to an NFC title game.
You'll lose hurt.
I mean, Sileo is Dak Prescott's biggest fan. The guy hasn't seen an NFC title game in 9 years. I mean, if we go back to that game, nobody's getting fired.
Yeah, nobody's getting fired. You'll lose Clint Hurt though if they get to the NFC title game. Clint will be hired
as DC.
DC somewhere. Someone will hire him as a defensive coordinator. Could be even someplace like New York.
Yeah, he was formerly DC.
That guy Robert Saleh doesn't
Seattle,
turn
right?
it in.
He was already a defensive coordinator in Seattle, right?
In Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been numerous places where he's been a defensive coordinator.
So he kind of took a step back. Why did he take a step? I guess he got fired.
He got fired in Seattle.
What was that? Was that after?
It was late in the process, and Vic came to him, and from what I understand, they gave him a nice paycheck to be the D-line coach to take over for Tracy. Well, Tracy's now down in Houston. Tracy Rogers.
Look, the Eagles value the trenches, man. They pay Jeff Stoutland a lot of money too, and that's why Stoutland's never shown interest in getting a higher job, you know?
He could stay too.
Yeah, so I'm sure they paid Clint good money if they believe he's going to be a good defensive line coach. Also, I mean, what better way? If you draft 2 defensive tackles with your back-to-back first-round draft picks and another first-rounder on Nolan Smith, and you got, you know, and you spend $17 million on Bryce Huff, you better have a good coach on that defensive line. So I don't blame him for doing that at all. I think that's,
you know what I would do if I were the Eagles here. I'm keeping Kellen and making him head coach. Hurts trust him. Hang on here. I'll tell you what you do, Martin, where you can keep both. Good. What I would do is I would make Kellen Moore my executive assistant head football coach of the team, because then when you do that, you get a bump in pay and you make it harder for other teams, because that other tag, once you can't make lateral moves at positions, or you have to give up draft picks. But if somebody comes to them and says, say Jim Harbaugh wants to get Kellen Moore, and I'm not saying he would, and he wants to hire him as an OC, well, then the Eagles have a right to match that, or ask for compensation, or make it harder by saying, well, he's the assistant to the head coach, which is more money, which would mean you're probably going to pay Kellen Moore $7 million to be an OC. He'd be the highest paid OC in the league.
Yeah, but if it works, I mean, look.
I'm not. I'm trying to figure out how to make it harder on teams to grab him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't look. I know I think he's going to be a great coordinator. I don't know how high teams are on him as a head coach. Now, he's also very young, so there's going to be plenty of more opportunities for him to get hired, where maybe he will get hired. But I don't know. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I think both Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni will return to this football team when we're talking a year from now. I believe they'll both
make it to the Super Bowl. No chance. Kellen will be gone. He'll be hired, and that'll be the end of that. You'll be in the revolving door again.
I think you're probably right, but I'm going to go with my prediction. I think they'll both be back next year on this football team. I don't think Nick's going anywhere, and I don't think Kellen's going anywhere. But
you want a bold prediction? By the end of the year, I'm going to say this, man. My friend, and I've told you who he is, was watching this guy run routes today, and he goes like this to me: Devontae Smith's better than A.J. Brown. And
fundamentally,
I said, get the fuck out of here. He goes, dude, he does everything better than him. AJ's just more physical. He goes, it's
different types of receivers, though, yeah.
But the Patriots think he's better technically as a player than AJ, but AJ's just a dominant guy. Man,
well, no doubt.
I heard him say that. I went, you really would take. And he goes, today I'm taking AJ. Tomorrow I'm taking Devontae.
Yeah, well, did you see that clip that the Eagles put up of him? He had Christian Gonzalez on skis, dude. I mean, that's a good cornerback. AJ Brown spoke highly of him, and you know, look, they are different receivers. I think they're both great. I think AJ Brown is a more dominant force in the NFL. I just think his body style, his style of play, the way he plays the game lends to better success in the NFL at this stage, at least. But Devontae Smith's ceiling is very high. I think he's going to be. I think if he was a number one somewhere, even if he was a number one on this team, he would be talked about way differently among the league. And I really do. I think he'd be right up there with those guys that you talk about. You know, maybe not the Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hills of the world, but CeeDee Lamb, you know, AJ Brown, all in that range. I think Devontae's right there. I really do.
Has he exceeded or over-exceeded since he's been an Eagle?
I think he's been right about what I thought he would be. I mean, he was in Alabama when I was in Alabama for a little bit. I was very high on Devontae. I was very excited when the Eagles drafted him, admittedly. I mean, I love the player in college, and you know, when your team drafts one of your favorite college players, you know, you get jacked up. But
hey, folks, my first take to Zander was a wrong take, so I'm sure that went far, because first thing he asked me was, what do you make it a pick? I go, he's a schwimp.
I hired this asshole, and he comes on the network and says, Devontae Smith's a terrible draft pick. I said,
he's a schwimp.
This guy might be on the way out right now. I might fire this guy right now. He didn't even get a paycheck yet. He might be gone.
April 26th, like 4 years. The guy's a schwimp. He sucks. Zander's like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, you could probably find the video on our channel. You could probably find the video on our channel, honestly, if somebody went and looked for it.
That'd be unbelievably crazy, man. But so you think you thought he'd be this?
Well, I mean, if you look at his stats, I don't think he overachieved. What's that? Sorry.
I thought he was going to be kind of like Jameson Williams, a little bit banged up all the time, something like that. Talented, but banged up.
Well, from that perspective, I think he's exceeded expectations. But when you know, if you're a stat guy, and I think wide receivers stats make a little bit more sense for those guys because you know that's what they do provide to the team is stats, his numbers, his yards, his touchdowns. I mean, Devontae's been good, but he's not 1,500 yards. He got 980, I think, his first year, 940.
He's limited.
And then he got 1,000 and 1,100 or something. So he's right there. I mean, I think if he didn't have A.J. Brown in front of him, he's a 1,500-yard guy a year. But he does, and overall, I think he's been right about what I expected him to be. I'd like to see Hurts kind of take the next step in terms of, you know, there's other teams out there that have two receivers that get that ball a lot. And I think with Kellen Moore, that's going to be the evolution of Jalen Hurts. But we'll see. I think Jalen Hurts could do a better job at, you know, getting both guys involved. Not that they didn't have a good year. They both had great years. I mean, they both got paid massive money. But I think they're both 1,300 to 1,500-yard guys. And you might see that for both of them this year.
Okay. Hey, I'm getting concerned about this one dude.
What do you mean, okay?
Yeah, okay. We'll see. I mean, there's no way they're going to take targets away from AJ to feed Devontae. He's going to be right there in that 1,200.
I will pay somebody for this. I will pay somebody good money
to make a video of Sileo's bad take. How about the ones that I'm right on about your stupid linebacking and your edge rusher that's going to be a colossal disaster this year?
Bleed green.
Kerrigan.
Bleed green. If you start today, you might finish by the end of 2024, maybe.
Not true. Not true. I said that whole defense would suck up, and they did last year. All right. So let's go here, my friend.
You loved Sean Desai last year. You thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I didn't think he did anything wrong.
Okay.
Well, let's see. He beat Tua. He beat Mahomes. He beat Allen. He beat Dak. He beat Stafford.
And he had the 31st ranked pass defense.
What?
And he had the 31st ranked defense.
No. That changed with Patricia. When Patricia got put in, and they went to man and got away from zone. He lost.
I said all year they shouldn't have moved on from Desai at that point in the year. But listen.
At least the guy had beaten all those. He beat the Super Bowl MVP. And then what you did was you yanked that away from him. Man, he wasn't your problem. He wasn't your problem.
No, you might be right on that. But anyway, just to go back to your take. You told me the defense was going to suck. You also told me you loved the defensive coordinator.
I did. I still do. That's why he's with the Rams.
Yeah. All right. We'll see.
As the assistant head football coach.
Which is a downgrade.
Completely. But he was hired immediately.
Oh, I know. We'll see.
And just like your boy Brian Johnson.
I don't dislike Desai. I really don't. I don't
Jaden Daniels. Do you see that guy last week and the touch that Brian Johnson gave him?
Senor, you will be compensated for your service, sir.
Brian Johnson. What a great influence he's been on Jaden Daniels so far.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, just like we'll see 4,500 passing yards. Okay. Let me go here.
So you're more high on Jaden Daniels, a guy that hasn't done anything in the NFL, than you are on Jalen Hurts, a guy that marched this team to the Super Bowl.
Oh God, how many years ago was that now? 2? Damn. We're like talking about the past here. We're talking about the camp in the past. Look at this guy. CT Philly fan. How you doing, bro?
CT, thank you, brother, coming a member. That's huge. We appreciate you, man, for being here. I appreciate you. Your support of the channel. It's big, man. It goes a long way. So thank you for becoming a member, CT. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, hang on here, Prince. This shit's not about Sills. This is about your Eagles getting better. This ain't about me.
Prince is so right.
I change my narrative because the player either gets better or worse. I mean, Prince, I don't know what else to say to you.
Prince, keep on him, Prince.
Players dictate takes. The guy saying them doesn't dictate performance. Holy cow.
Good job, Prince.
Give me a break here.
Prince, good stuff, brother.
By the way, keep giving those likes. You guys are killing it here, man. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you so much, man. How you doing? All right. Hey, are you getting concerned about Gardner Johnson?
Yes. And nobody, and even John's like, oh, it's not a bad injury. Don't worry about it. I'm like, really? He's missed like 7 straight days of camp. The guy played 3 games last year, and he's barking at everybody on the sideline. Like, all right, I'm confident he's going to be a good player, but didn't we just give this guy a 3-year deal? The last 2 years, he spent most of the seasons on the injury reserve. You think he played 12 games with us, and then he goes turns around and plays 3 games last year. That's 15 games in 2 years.
Yeah,
that's not a durable guy.
No.
And we paid this guy decent money to be here. Everybody's banking on him being our savior at safety and our better player at safety. He might be a bigger question mark than Reed Blankenship, because if you're not on the field, doesn't matter how good of a player you are. So I'm concerned about him, no doubt about it. I think, honestly, I don't think it's being talked about enough right now. I really don't.
Agree.
I think it's a bigger concern than people are giving credit for. I think the beat guys are kind of, all of them in unison, are downplaying it. Oh, it's not a bad injury. He'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back. Okay, well, when's he going to be back? He's been out for 7 or 8 practices now. When's he going to be back?
No, I get it. I'm with you on this. I am Prince, and I am the delusional checker, and that's what you are, delusional.
Speaking of fact checking, let's hit that Bet US for me.
By the way, Prince, delusional. He's telling me dude, it's August 13th. How freaking good are you on August 13th? Whoa, man. How you doing?
I'm with JM. CJ GJ's built out of rice cakes. Really. He really is. And this guy better be something this year, because all this talk at practice, he's jacking everybody up. He's crapping on Anaya Smith. All right, Gardner Johnson. Stay on the field. All right, man. Stay on the field. That's what we need from you. We don't need the talk if you can't stay on the field and stay healthy. I hope he shuts me up. I hope he proves me wrong. I really do.
He's a shit-talking gator. That's why.
Oh, here's Dick Track who checks in. Oh, Dick Track. I'm so sick of that guy's comment. He hasn't had a good comment on this channel and hundreds of comments. Everybody at least has a couple good ones here and there. Dick Track has never had a good comment in his life.
Ever. I've never seen a guy come in and never have a very good.
He's never had a good comment.
Like, ever. It's seriously, man. It's like trying to find an interview with Kamala Harris. Hey, man, how about our boy last night with 1 billion views last night with Elon Musk?
Oh, my God, that was great. I listened to it. I thought that was pretty cool. I just like any modern media, because I run the company. So,
Zander, let me tell you what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's systematically destroying Fox News, CNN, all of those, because you know why? You see all the negative headlines. Oh, it sucked. It was the worst. He goes, how predictable it was, because, dude, this is like the media when it comes to covering football. The problem that you have is these beat writers don't have jobs. All you got to do is just go to the Twitter, and those guys were, without a doubt, will tell you exactly what it is. By the way, I got to tell folks this, man. What's really cool, Zander and I, and you can hear it on Birds 365 as well. Great partnership that we now have with Bet US. If you guys are looking for a new book this football season, you're going to hear it on both shows here, man. We're really proud to have them part of the program. And 125%, get this, bonus for your first 3 deposits of up to $2,000. That's this football season. It's a great partnership that we have. You can also get crypto of up to 200% too on your deposit. So you can go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Home of Michael Vick. You can see the spots that Vick is doing now. Big believer in it. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the week. They wager on all major games coming up this football season for you. And plus, if you want to have your very own personalized agent, he will work with you. That's betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
We'll be back in 15 seconds, everybody. Just 15 seconds. We'll be right back.
Michael Vick at betus.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. Bet US, my online sports book and casino.
Big Sills, one thing I wanted to say, thanks everybody. Big Sills, one thing I wanted to say on that topic you brought up with Elon and Trump last night on the spaces is, I find it very interesting, Sills, how everything is a circle. Last night, Big Sills, we talked about the modern media and the way things are changing and streaming and everything. Last night was like radio. We all sat around and waited to listen to these two guys, and it was a modern form of radio. And I'm like, everything is circular, right? It all comes back to where it started in a way. And regardless of what you think of the two guys, regardless of what you think of Trump, I really don't care what you think. Honestly, and I know you don't care what I think, and I'm perfectly good with that. But I thought it was interesting to see, you know, it's radio. I'm listening to this thing, and I'm like, all this time of streaming and all these different things and developments and NFL and all these things, that it's radio. That's what I listened to last night. I listened to a radio show, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny.
No, it's appointment setting, Xander. Very few times that you have something like you have a vehicle on a platform like that where somebody makes it appointment setting. Tiger Woods, appointment setting. Eagles, appointment setting. You're looking at certain people that move the meter, and you go to that platform. And with think about how hard it is right now in media with all these places that you can go to. Everybody was so upset last night that one guy monopolized it. And like you said, this was like 1950s radio.
Yeah.
This wasn't like modern day. This was like the 50s when you sat around listening to the radio with your family and you're listening to a ball game and you're listening to that. And like I said, whether this is not a political statement, it's about the changing of the guard in the media and how we get now our intel, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it really is. And I mean, it just shows you the power. By the way, 1 billion viewers.
Yeah, it's
incredible. The thing's going to hit like 5 billion people would have watched that. To me, those are things that change an environment in an election, in a narrative, and how you feel about people. It absolutely is one of the craziest things I ever witnessed yesterday in watching something like that. So again, it shows you the power of streaming. Fireside chats used to be, hey, all right, Andreas. Okay, so again, back the ball here. Sure enough. Let me get back to some of the things. I want to go to Trotter. A couple more for you, Xander, then we're out of here. You think he starts opening day?
I don't know about opening day. I'm wondering because Vic Fangio doesn't care, and I like that about him, where it's like he's not playing the politics.
Gary Cobb thinks he does care about rookies, though, starting.
Which is true, which is a different type of care. I was more talking about, the politics of the game, and you got to get Devin and Nakobe, the draft pick, and stuff like that. So you're right about the rookies. Maybe he doesn't trust the rookies, and he wants to see them kind of acclimate. But I don't know, man. This is a different position than other positions on this team. This linebacker core is so unproven that you can't rule it out. You can't rule it out completely. And Trotter's looked better than most have expected him to look at this point, and many had high expectations. So, and I think, you said hit the nail on the head the other day when you're talking about his father. And I'm not saying he's going to be his father, but I think you can't underestimate how far that goes on a player. People are like, Jeremiah Trotter's instinctive. I wonder why he's instinctive. Because he learned from his father, who he is 3 steps ahead of every other rookie linebacker that comes into the league, because he knows who to watch, what to watch, when to watch it, and where to go when the ball's hiked. And I think that's a major leg up for him. And he's not a rookie like everybody else. He's not your average 5th-round rookie. And I think he's showing that more and more. And with the depth at that position, I think it's a real chance Trotter gets out there. I think it'd be great for the team to get him out there. I think it would, in a way, it would invigorate the defense in a way, not anything on field, but just kind of, camaraderie and getting juiced up to play the game. I think it'd be a great thing for the team, especially when, it's not like you're replacing an all pro, the linebacker position is not great right now. So, but I don't know. Johnny Mack tells me by week 6, look for it by week 6. So,
no way. No, I think week 3 or 4, somewhere in there. I think. Especially if they get 4 linebacker the
starting guys in week 1.
Devin White, Zach Bond.
I don't know about Bond. Today was Bond's first day. Didn't get the first rep at first team.
No, he was second team. Was he second? Yeah, he was second
team.
He
was second team today with Trotter, I think, to start.
Yeah,
and
Trotter.
Devin White and Nakobe Dean, and then it was Nakobe Dean and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. for a little bit. By the way, Trotter Jr. got the pick at Jacoby Brissett, their first team quarterback. And it wasn't a tip ball in his hands. He jumped a route to get it. His instincts are really good, man. I think he could have a big impact on this team this year.
Shooting my shot. Y'all get Bet US to hook me up with signed Vic Eagles jersey. I know he didn't win much with us, but Vic is my favorite quarterback. Tell you what, he was one of the most electric quarterbacks of all time too, Eduardo. I mean, make no mistake about that. Final one for you here, Zander.
Wait. I want to answer Eduardo. Eduardo, I will ask Bet US for you, but you got way better odds with us here at JAKIB and getting you that. We have a great relationship with Michael Vick. Krause knows Michael Vick well. We got some Michael Vick merchandise. Maybe I'll hook you up with something, brother. I'll see if I can get in touch with Michael Vick, and maybe we'll try and do something with him this year, and maybe with Bet US. And
I got to sell.
We'll get you straightened out. What's that?
I have a cell number.
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, I'm connected with him, so I should be able to maybe do something for Eduardo, loyal viewer of the channel. Eduardo, thanks for being a member. Thanks for being here, brother.
That's a great idea, man. I didn't think about getting Vic on because of Bet US now.
Yeah,
I'm going to text him right after the program. Hey, I think Tyler Steen has lost that job.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, today he had a really good day, and I'm talking Mekhi Becton. I think again, if he closes it up Thursday night, Becton, that's his job. You agree?
I agree. It seems that way. It seems that's what they're pushing for. And look, Jeff Stoutland has the ultimate say in that room. It's not Kellen Moore. It's not Nick. Jeff Stoutland's going to dictate who that starting five is, and he keeps going back to Becton. Everybody's talking him up. Look, I think it's going to be Mekhi Becton. My next question would be, how good is he going to be at the guard position? You know, you get an experienced veteran interior defensive tackle. In a way, they know how to turn that guy to chicken soup. If he doesn't have the fundamentals of that position down. Playing tackle is a lot different than playing guard. You know, you can get him off weight or off balance real easy and move that guy out of the way real quick. So that would be my only fear with Becton, is that not his ability, not his power, not even his skill.
It's technique.
His inexperience, right? His inexperience at the guard position. You know, and you have those veteran DTs. Now I got to look at who we have on the schedule in terms of veteran defensive tackles that are going to go up against them. But, you know, even Jalen Carter,
interior tackles, Atlanta really doesn't. So the first 2 weeks, you're probably going to get a better look with the Packer guys. That Packer game is going to be a tough ball game, brother. I can guarantee you. By the way, guys, I got to tell you, 900 folks watching on all platforms right now. I can't thank you enough, man. You guys are just absolutely just growing it and killing it. That Zander, over 900 folks, man, jumping in on us here. We really appreciate you guys. So if you guys can please hit that like button, we really do love it there. So one last one. What are you expecting Thursday?
Not much. Not much at all. I mean, remember, they also
put any of the first team guys out there?
I don't even think they will on defense.
The first time we're going to see the Eagle offense is going to be Green Bay.
Yeah. I think that's what it looks like. Well, because remember that if it was going to be a week, it would have been this week, and they had the joint practice. So the joint practice, in many cases, you know, the teams view that as their first team reps, and they're not going to put them out there. I doubt they're going to put them out. They didn't put them out there for Baltimore, and they're certainly not going to do it in week 3 of the preseason. I don't think it'll be. I think it's going to be week 1 where you see that offense. And look, they look all right. Most teams in the league are coming into it. That the Baltimore, you just saw them do the same thing. They sat Henry, they sat Lamar, they sat the receivers. I mean, I think it's going to be that, and ultimately, I don't think it's going to be a huge detriment to the team.
Sydney, we appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for continuing to help grow the channel. We really appreciate it. Zander, you guys are doing a great job. You and Johnny.
To answer his question, though, he says, how's Keegan? Keegan's been doing good, Sydney. I don't know if you caught him in the preseason game. He looked really good. Yeah, I mean, and the PFF numbers came out. He had, I think, 40-something snaps, 0 pressures, 0 sacks.
I think he starts next year.
I do too. I think that's a fair take. I mean, I think the question is where.
You're right. But,
if Becton starts, aren't they going to try and get a contract done with him? He's not going to overtake Landon Dickerson, obviously. He's not going to be the center, obviously. That's taken.
Why would Becton?
He's not a tackle. So, what's that?
Why would he take a contract in Philly at guard when he can go play tackle in the league at 90% of the places in his true position?
Yeah.
Now,
maybe.
Money's going to also go like that. Now, listen, I've heard everyone say he wants to play here. he wants to stay here. So, I mean, he wants to play for Stoutland. And especially if Stoutland, Zander, if Stoutland resurrects his career, you know, he was considered a bust in New York.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he was a first. He was drafted. What was he drafted overall? I know he was a first-round pick, but
15th pick or something out of Louisville. He may have even played with Lamar. I mean,
yeah, he was. Let me see. I don't know why it's not popping up.
I don't think he was a.
He was drafted 11th overall.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they just let him walk out the building.
Yeah. So that's a failure. Right? That's
Yes.
a bust. If you draft a tackle 11th overall and he doesn't get to a second contract, that's a catastrophic failure of a draft.
Wait, here, and think about this too, Zander. If you're a left tackle and you're drafted as a left tackle and you're playing right guard right now,
I know.
That's a demotion.
That's a major demotion, brother.
Okay. That's a demotion. Zander, we'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365. We thank you guys. We got a brand new member here again, man. David,
thank you, brother.
Really
David,
cool
can't
stuff.
thank you enough, man, for supporting the channel. It goes a long way. We're supported by the people that we talk to every day. So when you guys like or comment or become a member, it really means a lot to us. So thank you, David Mac Perez. I like that name, by the way. Thanks for being a member, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Over 900 folks right now on the show right now on all platforms, and we can't thank you guys enough. Please hit that like button. Zander, we'll catch you tomorrow. Don't forget, Farzetta will be with us at 5:30. We'll reset. Keep it here, Zander. Appreciate it. Keep it here. National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.